Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Cliff Yates podcast. This is another episode. This is a special episode that I'm doing. I wanted to do it now ever since we had the assassination attempt on President Trump. I've wanted to weigh in, rant, rave, go crazy, but I held back. And really, I have nothing to add. I thought about getting diagrams. I thought about having notes on everything that went wrong. But as you can see here on the internet, everything's been said and shown, although new videos are coming out all the time showing more and more what went on, what led up to the shooting, where everybody has videos out there. Eventually those are going to be stitched together. We're going to know exactly what happened. There's going to be a timeline that no one can hide, and already so much has come out. And my perspective from 35 years as a police officer, listen, the reason why you're going to have so many people will say conspiracy theories and the things that people are going to think about an intentional assassination of the president is because if you have any knowledge whatsoever, you know this is impossible to happen. It's impossible for this to have occurred. I mean, the Secret Service should immediately, people should be either fired, suspended, or resign in shame. At least Cheadle, the head of the Secret Service director, she did resign in shame after Congress really forced her into doing this. She lied right from the beginning, just told lie after lie. Why would you lie knowing that it's going to be shown that you're lying when you come out as she did and said, well, we didn't have anybody on the roof because of the steepness. The pitch of the roof was so steep that it was dangerous. And then this roof is almost, I could almost play pool on this roof. It's so flat. I mean, the degree of pitch is just, my grandmother could dance up on this roof. There was no pitch to this roof. It's just so impossible for this to happen. Not only, and I'm just giving my personal rant on this. I have no notes. I got lazy on this, but I thought it's better from the heart that I give my 2 cents. Although you could be a 12 to 13-year-old. No, hey, listen, somebody should be on the roof here. You could see all these problems. It's just unbelievable. Number one, I'm going to give you some of my experience as a police officer in the LA County Sheriff's Department. First of all, if there's a shooting, if there's anything that's questionable, deputies, police officers for the LAPD, LA Sheriff, they would be suspended pending an investigation. In every shooting, you're always out of the field. You're on the desk pending investigation. There's been no announcement that certain officers are on the desk or they're in administrative duties pending investigation. There's been no announcement that they are suspended in any way or anyone's been fired. Listen, the Secret Service, as little as we do know, we know it's a zero fail game. You can't have any failure or people die, as people did die during this day. How about just a couple things? When I was a deputy sheriff and I would be in a pursuit of a stolen car, very minor thing, right? Pursuing a stolen car. The people in the stolen car stop their car at an intersection and they jump out and they run into a neighborhood. Now what happens is I get on the air and I announce to 2 people running into the neighborhood, I need to set up a containment of this block. And I ask for units to go here, to go there, to go here, to go there. And I actually had a little dry erase board that I put on the hood of my police car because now I've set up a command post. And now I say I need a car at this intersection, 1 and 2. 10 says, I'm going there. 10's there. I need a car over here to lock it down over here. 4 says I'm coming there. 4, I mark that down. And then I do the same thing. I ask for an arrow unit. I ask for a canine unit. I ask for what I need. And I always got what I needed with the LA Sheriff's Department. This is not protecting the president. I'm in a law enforcement agencies. Now I got my command post and I have my little dry erase board. I know where everybody is. And the dispatcher, they know where I have everybody so they can reassign other people to different areas. Usually a sergeant will show up, maybe even the watch commander will show up. What do you have and where is everybody? They'll look at the board. Oh, I see where you have everybody. Maybe you need to put somebody in this alley here. You need to lock that down. It looks like it's too wide of a space. They could escape through there. People are overlooking. Let me expand the example. Let's say my chase went into another jurisdiction. Now I'm doing the same thing with all my deputies, and now the people from the next city over. Let's say it's the city of Compton. Someone from their agency comes over. Is there anything you need? No, but I need you to stand by here. That way I can liaison with you because I don't have your frequency, your radio frequency, and you don't have ours. So if something happens in your city related to this deal, I'm going to know about it because you're going to tell me, and the same thing I'm going to tell you. So this is what should have been done, right? There's obviously a command post at any of these rallies. So at the command post, they're going to know where everybody is. Is this locked down? Is there a person in this position? Is there a person in that position? Okay, now the local agency in Butler, Pennsylvania, so they would have an officer at the command post. So when several minutes, if not an hour before, they notice somebody suspicious or what they were noticing was going over their radio, that person in the command post would be telling the Secret Service, hey, we got a guy with a rangefinder and we got a guy with a rifle going up on the roof. Secret Service would say, holy shit. They would put that over their air to their snipers and to the people on the stage, and they would either take care of the problem or they would get President Trump off the stage. It's impossible that you wouldn't have a command post and you wouldn't have a liaison from the local agency there. Now, they already did some kind of town hall with a local police SWAT team, and they said that they were supposed to have a face-to-face briefing with the Secret Service. In every operation that I was a part of in the LA Sheriff's Department, if we did a small little narcotics warrant, okay, we would have a briefing with everybody who is going to be involved in that briefing. We actually had what they call an operations plan. Everybody would get a copy of it. Okay, this is where everybody's going to be and what their responsibilities are and what they're going to do. Let's say it was a narcotics warrant. The narcotics people would say, this is the place we're going to be going into. This is the people we're going after. And this is our undercover guy that he's going to be going to the front door. Take a look at Bernie here. Okay? Don't shoot him. He's our undercover guy. He looks like a dirtbag, but he's on our side. Everybody got an eye on him, so he's going to be going to the front door. And so everybody involved knows what's going to happen. There's pre-planning. We pre-plan, okay, if someone's injured and or shot, what hospital are we going to? We are going to this hospital located here. This is the route that we will take to go to the hospital. Everybody knows what to do. Everybody knows what to do. This is just what we would do to protect the President of the United States. You can't tell me that you don't have an operations plan and that you've liaisoned with the local agency. You can't tell me that you have not. We know that people go there ahead of time and they pre-surveil the area to see what the danger zones are and the danger locations. For instance, there's video coming out and showing somebody on top of the water tower. You don't have to have a sniper on the water tower. You just need somebody at the bottom of the water tower preventing somebody from getting onto the water tower. If you had those snipers behind the stage and you didn't want somebody on that building, or you don't think you needed it on that obvious building directly in front of the stage, well, then you have somebody down below preventing anybody from going up onto that stage. This is an impossibility that a 20-year-old kid could outsmart all these supposed professional law enforcement officers. Now, listen, this does not degrade. I can't imagine the amount of angst, anger that the professional cops on these teams, they just have to be so pissed off just to know what had happened, because, shamefully, what happened? They've got to hear. It's shameful what happened. here in Butler, Pennsylvania, and I had to do a little rant on this. I know all the angles have been covered, all the diagrams have been shown, all the experts have gone on, but I had to give my 35 years in law enforcement 2 cents. This is impossible to happen, that someone could get on top of this building with a rifle in broad daylight. You have the public. The public is screaming, someone's on the roof, someone's on the roof. And now we have new video coming out of someone behind the stage, one of the people that got shot. And it's just, I just can't, I can't tell you how this cannot happen. You can't get into these units. Now, Cheadle, the head of the Secret Service, these could be political appointments. These could be administrative appointments of people that are really incompetent. But to get into these positions on a field basis, the meritocracy that usually goes into picking people for these type of jobs, is the scrutiny that usually goes through is just unbelievable. And so I don't see how this happens. And so when you say, people, this had to be an attempt on the president's life, had to be an organized assassination attempt, it's because it flies in the face of logic that this could even happen. How can anybody not say, hey, what's going on here? Why isn't there anybody there? It's just impossible from a law enforcement standpoint that this, I just can't see how you could have this much incompetency. This is the federal government. I really could understand. I would have more faith in the local law enforcement and what they did or could see where the holes were than I would in the federal agencies. I've never had, they can't do anything right. And you've seen the answers they give during the congressional hearings. They refuse to answer questions. They're uncooperative. They should be coming there armed with information to share with the American people, who are no longer going to, they're not going to accept these unanswered responses, these dodging of questions. People want to know the truth. They want transparency. You had too many people saying months ahead of time, they tried to stop Trump from running. They tried to get rid of him with these cases. They tried through lawfare and found these ridiculous cases. They tried to get him out of the race, and they couldn't do it. His popularity rose, and they tried this. They tried that. They tried jailing his General Flynn. You got Steve Bannon now in jail. You've had these political prisoners they put in jail for refusing to answer congressional subpoenas, where you have Hunter Biden, Eric Holder. You have a lot of Democrats who have refused to answer subpoenas. There was no legal action taken against them. And so none of these things worked. People were asking, Tucker Carlson asked the president, what's left? They could try to assassinate you. And people were bringing that up. And then lo and behold, this happens. It's one thing that if there was an attempt made, but there was an attempt made in blatant disregard to logic. How can all of these things fail at once? That's my question. My statement is they couldn't, since the Secret Service is a zero-fail game. How come people aren't suspended? How come people aren't fired? How come people haven't resigned in shame? I failed. My job was to secure the perimeter. My job was to liaison with local law enforcement. My job was to position the snipers and or any other assets that we needed. I didn't do it. People died. The president almost died. So I must, to have any kind of honor, I must resign in shame. No one has resigned in shame except for Cheadle, the director, who had to be forced into it. She should have done it on day one. But no. But that's my rave today, everybody. I'm Cliff Yates. This is the Cliff Yates Show. And so if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, everybody. And if you're listening on a podcast platform, subscribe to the channel. And you're going to get notified when the next episode comes out. That's my rant from a police officer retired from the LA Sheriff's Department. That's my point of view. We have to be open to new information that keeps coming out on a daily basis. Not that we're paranoid, but we are finding more and more that we have to become aware. Mainstream media is dead. They've lied and lied and continue to lie. They've been found out in their lies. And now, platforms like this, who share information with other people. And that's how we learn and we grow and we stay aware of what's happening. And we fight to maintain the wonderful republic that we still do have. All right, everybody, I know you are probably, if you're listening and or watching, an amazing patriot. Thank you. I love you, and I'll see you in the next episode.